Welcome back, everyone. Going into hour number 2 here. Adam, these guards are coming towards the door, correct?
Yes.
Do they have swords drawn?
Nope. They have swords, but they're not drawn. What are you gonna do?
How close is everyone to the front door? If I turn around quick and survey the room.
I
I mean,
was in the middle, right? So
the whole place is pretty small.
Okay.
There's no other door out.
There is. Yeah, there's a door that leads into the kitchen of the inn.
Oh.
we could try to hide. We could be
Just
sneaky.
go.
But if
Through the
here's the
Berg doesn't fit anywhere.
okay, how far can I is Ramus in within earshot?
Yes. So I have a question. You see them. If your first instinct is to do anything other than hide, they'll see you.
That's not my first instinct is to turn and say to Ramus, Ramus, we've got guards coming to the door. If we hide, then it looks like we're hiding something. If we just say we're looking for them, then it's our word against them. Do you agree?
What? Well, I guess honesty's the best policy, as I always say.
Does the door knock right when he finishes that statement?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just opened the door. I was about to say like 1 second, but I opened the door.
All right. Cool. So yeah, there's the forceful, demanding knock of an officer of the law up on the door, and then you open it, and the three of them, it's a woman and two men. They give you a look that maybe is a little hard for you to place. Though if you want to make like an insight roll, then you could try to figure out what their attitude is.
I'll make the insight roll before. Okay, that's 2. What do I gain from that, Adam? Let me know how much I know.
You don't know nothing. They just have stone face.
Are their hands on their weapons when I open the door?
No.
Okay.
The two in the back are a little bit more guarded than the one in the front, but the one in the front is the one who's like gonna do the talking. Yeah, so he has some kind of like insignia, some kind of like bronze like thing holding his cloak up, that indicates like there's match and his is different. And he carries himself like he's in charge. And he says, he looks at you and he looks at the place, kind of like tries to peer past you. And he says, I'm sorry, who are you?
We're staying at the inn. Have you seen the innkeeper at all? We came over here. He usually makes us breakfast. We're quite friendly with him. I was wondering if you had seen him because me and the guy's kind of hungry. It's attached to the inn back in the.
We have not. Do you mind if we come in? And he says it in a way that it's not a question.
I mean, it's not my house, but yeah, by all means.
Before you even start answering, he's pushing past you.
Yeah, that's probably right when I say by all means.
Yeah. So, go ahead. The three of them walk into the house, and the woman gives you a look like, my eye on you. Don't watch yourself.
Yeah.
And they come in. So these three guards enter the room.
How do they regard Berg?
I think that they look at you guardedly. They don't like draw weapons or freak out or anything, but they notice there's a half-orc. They take a good look around the room, get a clear idea of what's happening, and then the lieutenant, the one that was talking to you before, Enoch, says, there was a disturbance last night. You say you're staying in the inn?
Yeah, right across. I think I make a mental note to hide the family. I think my family insignia is on a necklace. Is that right? I forget where I put it on my character. Wherever it's at, I hide that.
Okay, make a stealth check. Let's see if you can do it without anybody noticing.
19.
Pretty good. All right. So yeah, he says, did you notice anything? You hear anything last night?
No. That's kind of why it's awkward. He's usually down in the inn making breakfast. We did notice some stuff here in the house, though. If you want to.
We had probable cause, officer. We saw smoke coming from the food.
Well, from the outside,
From
we think
the
it's
stove.
Yeah,
We're just making sure it wasn't going to burn down.
We discovered it
the
was
lieutenant,
inside.
The
Yeah.
lieutenant
Some
looks
smoky ass food.
Yeah.
The lieutenant looks at you and he says, "I'm sorry. You are."
Are they all facing him? Because if they are, I'm just going like this and trying to.
Sure.
Don't
yeah, we
use
can
your real
see you.
name.
I'm sorry. I'm just staying at the inn, and I was concerned.
And he says, "You said there was."
See right
Smoke?
there on the stove. That it was burning.
You look over and there's one of the other guards is like looking already over there, looking into the pot, and he looks over and he says, he just kind of shrugs and he says, "Looks like someone left their food on too long, Captain." And the guy in charge nods and he looks at the papers on the table and he says, "What's this about?" He says it to you, Ramus.
That's what we're trying to find out. We saw the smoke. We came inside to see if he's okay, and then we see all these papers everywhere and ink. I don't know what's going on.
It gets more interesting if you look here at the back of the door. I'm not trying to say we're doing your job, but there's markings on it that Ramus believes is ink. We don't know how it got there.
Have you happened to see a man covered in ink as you walked up?
That's a good question, Ramus.
And the captain watches the two of you have this conversation, and he says, "You don't need to concern yourself with this any longer. Leave it to us."
Well, you don't make breakfast, do you?
He turns to you, Ramus, and he says,
I apologize. He's very simple.
"Ramus, was it?"
Yes.
And he looks and he says, "I'm gonna need you and your friends." And when he says friends, he looks at Berg to go back to the inn and sit tight a while. We're going to have a look around.
Very well. If you need any help, we'll be right next door. I guess one of us will be making breakfast.
I'm pointing
And
towards Ziva.
Yeah, I think Berg looked like it right at Ziva and was like, "She's new. Does she make food?"
So the other guard, the woman that was eyeballing you, Enoch, she says kind of roughly, she's like, "All right, you heard the captain. Come on, let's go." And she like puts her hand on her sword and kind of like adjusts her sword belt threateningly and is like, "All right, I'm going to escort you back to your room and then I'm going to basically make sure you don't leave."
Okay, yeah, no, we'd love an escort. It seems troubled town. Let's go back to the inn.
This building is attached. It's attached to the inn. I don't think we need an escort.
And
We
she
We can literally walk through that door. It goes right to the inn.
She looks at you, Jiva, sneers a little bit, and then says to Enoch, she says, "The situation is no place for a child." And gestures like, "All right, let's go."
Damn.
I cross my arms. I'm like, I'll have you know that I'm probably.
No. You need to shut your mouth, young lady, or I will punish you again.
I like glare at Ramus, just like, I'll settle this later.
Yeah, well, after you, officer.
So she escorts you back into the inn, and then up to the room that you're staying in. And once you go inside, she closes the door, but you don't hear her walk away. She seems to be settling in by the door.
Does anyone play a musical instrument?
Believe Berg does.
Who does? What?
I think Berg does, actually.
I do.
Okay, I go and grab the instruments. Berg and Ziva,
Berg, what do you play?
The lute, I believe.
Excellent.
Yeah, the
okay.
lute.
Yeah, can you? We got some time to kill. Can you play us a song? And I kind of give a thumbs up.
Yeah, so
Berg's-
the guard outside can't see you, right? Because you're in a closed room. She's just in the hallway outside.
You asked Berg to play a song?
Yeah, and Ziva, you said you could play something, right? I don't know if Anne could play a musical instrument or not.
No, my other character is a bard, so I got really
okay.
excited. I did, but I remembered my other character was a bard.
Okay.
I think JP, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down here. I don't know if anyone else has knows what's going on here, but I see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's the classic. We're gonna go turn the music up and have a conversation,
Yeah.
but there's no radios back in the old time,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have Berg play
Berg
the lute.
starts. Berg immediately, like when you say that, he's like, Really?
I've never heard you play, and I've always wondered if you're actually good. So please indulge us.
Oh, okay. Berg like kind of is like confused and delighted and like ding, 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 ding.
All right. So what's? I guess Berg, are you just playing a song? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need to be involved in the conversation.
all right.
necessarily.
So Berg,
Berg's just playing a lute.
make a performance check.
Oh God, I hope it's good. I hope
you do.
it's good. All right. Whoop.
Oh boy.
It's been a
Oh,
while since he's
really
played the lute,
bad.
okay? It's been a while since he's played the lute.
You
Tell
just
us,
have to play loud.
explain to me, Max. Max, what does it sound like?
Like,
Do you sing or do you just play?
no, he's just playing it, and it's like I'm gonna chalk this up to Berg hasn't played in a very long time, and for some reason he's just fucking it up. Like he's trying to do this one song that he used to know.
Yeah,
He just keeps like
it's an ancient
Plays the same
fat fingering
song.
it.
Like over and over again. He's just playing the same one, trying to get
He's
that.
getting visibly frustrated.
It's like a normal sized lute, and you got big ass orc fingers, so it's
Exactly.
just like
Tough,
not
yeah.
working.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's an ancient song you learned on your journeys in the town of Wonderwall. So you start to play, and there's like a banging on the door, and you hear from outside a muffled like, "Keep it down in there."
We're just trying to pass the time, officer. Hope you don't mind. And
Okay.
I keep telling the Berg, like,
So we cut to outside, and there's the door behind her, and she just like puts her hands over her ears, like, "Oh God."
I try to like help Berg, but also just make more noise by like clapping and tapping my foot on the ground to the beat. But he's so bad that the beat he's completely off. So I kind of just try to keep up with them, and it just sounds even worse, most likely. And I turn to Ramus and like underneath the music as best as possible. Ramus, we got to get out of here. I don't know how to though. I think she's outside the door.
Well, if we run and this man ends up dead, that doesn't look very good, does it?
I mean, we just go wait here all day. We got things to do.
I know. It's just that if we run, we're gonna be on probably the like billboards saying "wanted," suspicious, awful band.
My family would always used to just pay people to stop this stuff, but I like go into my coin pouch and there's not my. I don't have that much.
What? Like, how high up are we? And is there a window?
Second floor, and yes.
Okay. So Ziva's like over by the window, like looking at how to open it. And I kind of like clear my throat at them, and I'm just like,
Hold on.
Oh, did you want to see what they're up to, what they're talking about? Maybe see if they suspect us or whatever.
I was thinking we could all just leave.
I'm with Ramus. If we leave, they come in here, then they're going to be looking for us, not whatever's down there.
Well, they don't know who I am. They only know who Ramus is.
Yeah, I kind of messed up saying his name.
Don't use your real name, Ramus.
I kind of just like stare off into the distance. Well,
Meanwhile, bling, ding, 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 boom, boom.
well, why don't this is on you. I'm not one of the thieving type. I don't know the situation. I do think though, I look at the door. If we leave, they're gonna think we killed the guy or something. We kidnapped him. That's way too suspicious. But if the kid leaves,
You could climb onto the roof, go around and see if.
I didn't say kid. I'm sorry. They think you're a kid. I didn't mean anything by that. We can just put a pillow in the bed and say, yeah, we put her to sleep.
in the beginning of the day, before breakfast.
She tires easily.
She tires easily. Those feet they have to move a lot. They're little.
And what am I meant to do when I leave? You expect me to spy on the city guards?
Just see what they're saying. If they're saying, "Oh, we got them caught in the room upstairs," or they're just looking around.
I do believe that's probably the best. Just don't get caught. And if you get caught, wear a mask or something. I don't know. You're the thieving type.
I don't think you know how getting caught works.
Obviously not. I've never been caught, and I look kind of upset that
It's the law, right? If a cop catches you wearing a mask, they're not legally allowed to take your mask off.
Yeah,
to find
I've
out who
seen
you are.
Arrow. Okay, I
It's
understand.
illegal.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I need to get down from this second story. So I guess I just kind of look at them and I'm like, fine, I'll go investigate and then I'll try to come back up through the window.
Okay. Just be as quiet as possible. And I hand you a pill. Put on this mask already. They're gonna know.
I'm not, and I throw it away and I just like put on my bandana like I normally do.
I like that
Pillowcase
he's
over
like
your head.
try and maybe just put it over her. Like, here, just cover your face.
Yeah. No, the band. Okay, I didn't know you had a bandana. That's much better.
I'm not an amateur.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's true. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to try to climb down from the window down to the street?
Yeah. Is there a conveniently placed awning or something I could bounce off of?
Yeah, I mean you're not that high up, and
Okay.
the walls are pretty rough. So you can definitely just like climb. Yeah, make a athletics check, I guess.
Oh God!
Oh,
Just like
It won't be it won't be about failing. It'll be about how long it takes and if you make noise, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not. We had this conversation. You're not incompetent. You're not gonna fall out of a easy climb like this. Yeah, you're fine. 14 is no problem. I think at one point you reach out as you're climbing down. You're kind of just bouldering down the wall. You reach out with a foot and you knock a piece of the it's not stucco, but the like whitewash stuff on the front of the building, and it starts to crumble. But you manage to grab it before it hits the ground, and you climb down. You're down in the street. You sit down, look around. Maybe like somebody irrelevant notice, like you see like a couple of like noble women that are just like, oh my, like they see you climbing down the window. But they don't say anything.
what is that child doing?
Someone points. She's going to get herself killed. So yeah. So you're down there now. Do you want to try to sneak up on the guards?
Yeah, I guess like if there's a window or something, then I'll just I'll try and like eavesdrop more than sneak up on them.
All right. Make a stealth roll.
Okay. Cool.
19. Not bad.
Okay. All right. So there's you sneak up to the window, and yeah, it's I guess you just want to stay outside, like it's open.
Yeah, I just want to just eavesdrop and stay out of sight.
Okay. All right. So you like creep up to the window. Yeah, you can hear them talking inside. One of them, like as you walk up, you hear what? So you think that they killed him? I don't know, Lieutenant. And there's some like rustling, some muffled stuff. You can't hear it. And then he's like, I think they're just a bunch of adventurers. And then there's a pause. It's like, well, that's what I'm worried about. Unpredictable, those sorts. Plus, and there's a more muffled, like you can't. They're moving and they're at a bit of a distance. So you're getting bits and pieces of the conversation. And then one says, you can't tell me you believe in that. And then more muffled talk. And it's like, well, I'm not going in there. Well, I'm not either. So what do we do? Another pause, some more like muffled talking, and then he says, "Well, let's just leave them up there to stew for a bit, and we'll send someone to keep an eye on them. We have no reason to arrest them now. The innkeeper might as well have just gotten drunk, made a bunch of noise last night, and then you can hear them coming, so their voices are getting louder. And he's like, go upstairs and there's like some more muffled as they close the door, and then they're right in the other room, like you're right next to them. If you want to go, now is the time."
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the wall and climb back up through the window.
Okay. So you start to go, and then you hear behind you, "Hey, not so fast!" And you look over your shoulder, and the captain's got the door open, and he's looking at you. Because despite your excellent 19 on that stealth roll, I beat you. So he sees you and he's like, where do you think you're going?
Can I help you?
And he looks at you and he says, I'm certain we sent you upstairs to stay in your room. And what are you doing down here?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't think we've ever met before.
He squints at you.
Do you still have the bandana up?
No, when he started talking to me, I like pulled it down.
Yeah. So you're leaning into the fact that he can't tell one halfling apart from another.
Yes, I am.
That's what I was
Awesome.
thinking. It's doing.
I'll just have him make a racism check here, and let's see.
Here's the thing,
Do
like
you-
if I was a kid and now I'm
No,
talking to him like an adult, right?
Well, so the thing was, the person that called you a kid was trying to offend you. She knows you're a halfling. They
Oh,
all-
okay. All
She
right.
was trying to be a dick. But I think this is a fair check. I think this is totally reasonable. Let's see. I think it's just a check on his part. Let's say a wisdom check. I'll just roll a flat d20. Let's say a 50-50 chance. So if I get a 10 or less, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like you, I thought you were someone else."
Oh God.
So
Close.
he's like, he shakes his head and he says, "Nice try." And the other one is like walking towards you with his hand on his sword.
Uh-huh.
And he says, "So what? Trying to flee the scene then?"
I just kind of I look at the guy with his hand on his sword, and I'm like, "Whoa, there's no reason for violence. I was merely getting some food for my friends and I because as we mentioned, we're very hungry." And I pull out like the falafel from my bag.
Okay. I have this convincing falafel.
Yeah, I was on my way back just as you stopped me.
And he walks over to you, and he kind of folds the cap, like folds his arms, and kind of gives you a look. And we've just established that he's not like a halfling racist, so he's not going to be like, "You people are so sneaky. I can't believe anything you say." And he looks at you, and he looks up, and he says, "Listen, we're just trying to find out what happened here. We've been getting a lot of strange reports." And he like looks over his shoulder at the house. Something about this neighborhood. What are you doing so far from the station?
The station? Oh, the train station.
The train station where all the halflings live.
Well, you see, one of my friends went missing, and these wonderful people that are waiting upstairs were helping me to find my friend who's missing. We happened to stay at this inn, and we've been here for a number of days. I'm sure you can check the records. We've been paying and have been good customers. And the innkeeper, who was very friendly, seems to have gone missing. And we are genuinely concerned, and if you want, we could help you in this and try to find the innkeeper.
He looks at you and sighs. He's like, "I have more important things to do than track down some missing innkeeper." And he looks back at the inn, and he says, "Well, there's no reason to believe that he's run afoul, but listen, if you hear from him or have any reason to believe that there's been a breach of the law, find a guard, and tell them. All right?"
Absolutely.
And look, we don't need your help. The guard doesn't need a bunch of meddlesome adventurers wandering around acting like we don't need you. We're just city's well off enough without vigilantes. He looks at you and he says, "You'd best get back to the station. It's not safe out here for your kind."
After we find my friend, I will certainly be going back to the station.
Upstairs, everybody, you hear like boots on the stairs of another guard coming up, and then a brief. I guess you don't really hear them have a conversation because Berg, are you still like after all? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so you don't hear them talk. So you finish. You keep playing, and you hear the two sets of boot steps leaving, and then the guards come back outside, Jiva, and the captain that was talking to you, he says, "I don't want to upset you, but if your friends like you, and you can see him trying to remember what the like appropriate word for halfling is. Like, is that a slur? Am I allowed to say that? He's like, if he's like you and you haven't seen him in some time, might be he's gotten himself mixed up in something. And this neighborhood's not friendly to non-humans. He scowls. He's like, I wish it were different, but it isn't. It's just a way of things. So don't look too hard or you'll get yourself in trouble.
I appreciate the warning, sir. You are very good at your job.
Try to figure out if you're sassing him. And then he looks at his lieutenants. He looks at the other guys and he's like, fine, let's go. And they turn and they leave.
Okay. So then I open the door to the room while Berg is crooning.
Yeah, the horrible noise is still coming.
Yeah.
He's like on his third go through of the song.
So I open the door and I just say, please, for the love of God, stop that noise.
Berg, your halfling's ears are not as adept as ours. It's quite good. You're doing a good job.
Berg, I am halfway to removing the curse of your music from your body if you do that again.
I don't know why you have to be so mean. I thought it was quite okay.
He asked me to play the lute.
It was quite good.
That's what I was doing.
Does Ziva come up through the window or through the front? She comes through the door again, right?
Yeah.
So after I make that really. How are you? Is there an officer standing next to you?
They left.
Where do the guards go?
Seems they had more important business to attend to than looking for a missing innkeeper. I convinced them that we'll take care of it.
They listen to you?
Yes, I can be very convincing.
I like go and take out the dagger from the sheet. There's no blood on this, so what did you use? I hand you back your weapon.
My halfling wit, of course.
Uh-huh. Well, did they tell you anything about the innkeeper?
They did say that this neighborhood has been the source of strange things recently, but they didn't really elaborate. Mostly they warned me that I should go back to the station, which is like the halfling area.
Oh. They're not going to keep eyes on us or anything?
I don't think so. They've all left.
Well, I guess we can continue about our day.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm kind of... It's confusing.
He did tell me that if we find out anything, we should tell the city guard, but he also didn't ask for my name, so I don't know how he's going to find me again.
Well, he knows Ramus's name thanks to...
Certain people.
Yes, I don't... That might come back to... I mean, I guess it's just Ramus.
Well, look at the size of the city. You know how many Ramuses there are? You only said the first name.
It's a very common name.
I kind of like slowly look at Ram. Anyways.
Must be hard for you, Ramus. They might even put up posters. You might become a wanted man.
No, he's not
Berg
an orc
shakes
or
his
anything,
shackle.
Berg.
Oh, you would know nothing about that, Berg.
Yeah, I don't. Anyways, we need breakfast. I can't do anything without eating. I'll go downstairs.
Right.
We'll make some food. We'll
I
talk
wanted
about
to
our next
continue
step.
looking at those papers. I didn't even get a chance to look at them.
Well, you can do that while I'm making food. It's not gonna take. Takes time to create perfection.
You crook.
Every once in a while when I have to. It's not hard to scramble an egg. You just need heat in an egg. And you move the pan around and it's done.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. Berg, I'll show you downstairs. Ramus, you got to go next door and look into it a little bit more?
Yes, I'll take the kitchen door this time.
Okay. All right. You should lock the front door so no one else comes in. Probably best play. I start to walk downstairs.
All right. Yeah. So you head into the kitchen in the inn, and it seems there's nothing of unusual nature here. There's some kegs of ale, casks of wine, some food supplies, both dry and fresh. Yeah.
Are there any eggs?
Sure.
Okay. I just get a bunch of eggs and start cracking them into a pan of some sort and start a fire.
All right, so you start the stove up and you get a pan on it and you pick up an egg from the little basket of eggs just sitting next to it and you crack it, and when you go to open it, like a thick reddish like liquid kind of gushes out into the pan. And there's a like mostly formed like chicken fetus that just slides into the pan out of the egg.
Is that how? Berg, you have-
That is not supposed to happen.
it's not
No,
supposed. Okay,
no.
well, we'll just start over again. Gotta skip it into the trash.
Uh-huh.
Get another egg. Yeah, when the servants showed me how to cook it, I never saw it. That's quite odd. Anyways, I crack another egg. Same thing.
Okay. Yeah. This one though, it's not as together. So like you crack the egg and it kind of like comes apart when you pour it in the pan. Like it's kind of gelatinous.
Gross.
When that happens, Berg's like,
See? It's hard.
Well, how did they get that to turn into the yellows?
These
Something
are
wrong with you guys.
fertilized eggs. This is not good. You can't eat any of them. Just
Wait,
no.
have we been eating this stuff the past couple of days?
I don't even want to think about that. Don't
So
say
the
that.
pan is sitting in front of you, and while you two are talking, you hear a faint like noise from the pan. And you turn to look at it, and the kind of like semi-solid chicken fetus thing is like twitching slightly. And its little gelatinous beak is like opening and closing, and it's making like a thin kind of gurgling sound.
Oh, hell no. And I slap a sacred flame to burn it.
Oh, well,
Flambe.
that'll start the fire rather quickly.
Okay. Yep. So you just and like just the pan ignites like a banana. What's the name of that thing where you put oil on it, you light it on fire? It's like that. Flash of blue flame. and yeah,
Banana Foster?
that's the one.
Yeah.
And it makes a high pitched kind of pained noise and then dies or finishes dying, and then there's silence.
I'm
I'm not hungry anymore.
Yeah,
still
I'm
pretty
good.
friggin' hungry, but I don't think we're gonna have eggs. Am I pulling them from like a carton, from like a box? Like, what am I pulling the
There's
eggs
a little basket, yeah, where you would keep eggs.
from? Okay, I'll like pick up an egg and like shake it.
Okay, there's like a weighty kind of like something sloshing around inside.
Okay, that one's not. I'll check every single egg. But this might take a while, Ramus. If you want to go.
I mean, there's
check
not that
door.
many. There's only a few more. But when you pick them up, they have like a heft to them that feels off.
Well, better throw these away, I guess. How are we eating these? I don't understand. I throw them away.
Yeah. Okay. So you just kind of like dump them into a trash.
You said that there were other types of food there, dry and fresh. What are our options?
Yeah, there'd be like a some like dried meat, and there's a couple of loaves of bread, and yeah, I mean like the kinds of supplies you would need to make food, like simple food for a day or so at an inn, right? He'd buy groceries every day probably, or every couple of days.
Okay. Well, I start to set the table then. It's not cooking, but I take the bread and just put it on the table and look pretty proud about that.
Set a loaf of bread.
Yeah, there's no cooking involved. It's just loaf of bread on the table.
You don't have to give me the recipe. It seems very delicious.
Yeah, I didn't make. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. And I stumble back into the kitchen, look at the meat. I guess I like look at the meat and I guess shake it around for some dumb reason. I'm not a good
Yeah, I
cook.
mean it's like dried, like just a dry like piece of meat, like a cut of meat. You pick it up and like look at it. It looks like a piece of meat.
Okay, well, I guess I start the oven unless the oven was started when he sacred flame.
Well, you
it?
wouldn't like dried meat. You'd slice it. It wouldn't. You
Oh,
wouldn't
it's
cook
dried
it.
meat.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So I start slicing. I'll just cut that into, quote, evenly sliced strips. They're probably not sliced very well.
Okay. So you're like slicing the meat.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're just doing your job, putting it on a plate or whatever.
Berg, why don't you put some plates on the table? We'll have a nice breakfast.
Fine.
Berg goes around and
All right. So when Enoch brings the slices of meat, there's also like a wheel of cheese you could cut up and like just have kind of a simple breakfast. But when you come out and you set it on the table, the slices of meat, Ramus, you notice something unusual about the pattern of the like marbling of the meat. The slice that's topmost appears if you kind of like look at it the right way or squint slightly. The marbling of fat in the meat looks like a screaming face. Open mouth, wide eyes, terror look.
I'm
Great.
I'm about to like bite into the meat.
Wait, look really close at the meat. Do you see that?
Uh,
Enoch, put your face. Like, do you see? Like,
Yeah.
there's a face there. Do
Take
you
the-
see it?
What?
Like,
Do I
look
see it
a
on-
little closer.
Do I see it
And
on
I'm-
mine?
As
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gets
you
his-
can all see it now that Ramus has pointed it out.
As everyone gets closer and looks at it, I secretly cast thaumaturgy to make it
If-
scream really loud.
If it has a verbal component, you can't do it secretly. You're obviously casting a spell.
Unless you're
yeah,
a sork.
I'm like I'm just saying it as I'm speaking, kind of under my breath, not really, just like, and then I make it scream really loud.
yeah.
Okay, well everyone knows that you cast a spell first, and then the meat is just like ah,
Yeah,
terror meat.
my head slowly raises towards Ramus. Are you just seeing things in the meat, or is there something wrong with the meat?
I mean, you can all see that there's like obviously the pattern of a human face in the meat.
That could it either is a trick that looks like a face, or it could be a
Well,
face.
Look, I know around this town you've heard of people seeing different gods in their meat and their food before. It's not anything out of the ordinary, but
I saw a tower and a pile of potatoes once.
is this?
Would you like to try it first? Maybe
Well, I
see if
think
it's good.
Ziva, being the newest member of our group, should be the one to try it.
Nope.
That's
I didn't
worked.
even sit down when they like placed the table.
Well,
I'm
that's
standing up.
it's worked before.
It's weird. It's the first time that happened.
All you have to do is say no. That's weird. I look. I'm looking at the meat on the fork. That I guess this is the slice piece. Does it? I study a little bit more and then just like put it in my mouth.
Okay. It tastes terrible. It tastes like a mouthful of ash. Like literally, like you just grabbed a handful of ashes out of a fire and jammed them in your mouth.
You'd say you grabbed a faceful.
Yeah, just disgusting. Like as soon as your tongue touches it, just like your mouth dries out, and it just.
Being a proud person and wanting to make sure that everyone knows he's a really good cook, I try to grin and bear it and smile.
All right, make a constitution save.
Hey,
let's say
I
DC.
got this checked. That's a 19.
Okay, well you're good. You don't even. Yeah, so you just like chew it and
Oh, this
manage
is so good.
to swallow
Oh.
the horrible just. And yeah, it's not good, but you managed to get a bite of it down.
You guys should really try. It's really get some of this bread. I lean forward and grab some
I
of
can
the bread.
see on your face that you are about to hurl.
Nope.
So the bread is just like a round like loaf of bread. There's a serrated knife lying next to it. You haven't cut it or anything yet.
Okay, yeah, I cut into it.
Okay. All right. You pick up the knife, put your hand on the bread. You cut into the bread, and like halfway through, the knife snags on something, and the bread starts to like soak through with blood.
I was just gonna say it starts bleeding.
like a big raw piece of steak. Like you cut into it, and then it just starts to like soak through and get wet with blood. Yeah.
Oh well,
When
everyone.
you pull the knife out, and the serrated edges of it are like they've got bits of like hair or fur in them or something.
Everyone likes a little strawberry jam with their bread, and I keep cutting.
Well,
All right, so there's a crunching sound as you continue to cut into the
Man,
bread.
most people take the berries out, but this is,
Okay, yeah, I mean, when you separate the loaf of bread, the piece you've cut off, like, yeah, there's the kind of unmistakable, like, glistening color of, like, viscera, like organs, little tiny organs, whatever. There's something was in the bread.
Berg,
well, he doesn't have to worry about that rat anymore, I don't think.
why would anyone eat this?
I think you found his nest.
I think you found the innkeeper.
think this is the innkeeper. I look at his face. Does it look similar to the innkeeper?
It's not. It's not clear enough. It's not clear enough to make out. It is very much like a Jesus in the waffle situation.
Okay. Well, who would do such a thing?
I mean, it's not possible. It's not physically possible. Like to grow an animal, whatever animal this came from, such that it's fat when sliced looks like a face.
Yeah. I don't. This is beyond my realm of comprehension, Ramus. I believe you'll have to step in here. But you should try the meat. It's pretty good. I like cleaning my teeth as I say that.
The
Wait a
bread,
minute.
gross.
Don't eat the bread, but the meat is all you. Though.
Something's not right.
Oh, you think something's? Yeah.
No. I know something's not
I like
right. but
pick up the
something-
piece of bread and just throw it on the table.
Like a soggy chunk of blood-soaked bread. Yeah.
Something's
Throw it
not
back
right,
in.
Ramus.
He was cooking food. He ran away scared. We're seeing crazy shit. Something's happening.
You know, I've been eating a sandwich off camera and I have stopped.
What do you mean something's not right? You think?
Did we bring anything from that house over here?
The cheese sits ominously on the table,
Well, I'm
doing
not-
and saying nothing.
As you say that, I don't think so, and I just slightly edge forward with the fork towards the cheese. I got to figure out what's going on with this. Probably like poke it.
Okay, I mean it's got a hard rind on the outside. You have to, like,
Yeah,
cut it
I'll
out.
like cut into it with the side of the fork.
Okay, all right. So are you cutting it in half, or are you just?
I'm
like,
literally
cutting
just
a-
like
a
sticking,
wedge out of it?
yeah, like wedging out a piece.
You
yeah.
cutting cheese? What you said?
So
Yeah.
you slice a triangular piece of it out and like slide it out. It doesn't like scream or anything when you do it. It doesn't bleed or gush pus or anything. But when you turn it like sideways, when you turn the sideways, the kind of pale yellow surface, you make out like a half kind of ring of color. It's like a little like a shell or something. It's like a light green color, and then there's like a darker part of it, but it's buried in the cheese, so it's hard to tell kind of what it is.
The fuck? Ramus, what do you think's going on? I just continue to like cut
Try
more
to
into
dig
the
it out.
cheese.
Yeah. Okay. So you continue to like dig in, and yeah, there's like a white part of it, sort of like half round as you like dig it out, and you cut it, and it's an eyeball. It's in the cheese. Just like pop it out, and it kind of deflates when you like puncture it.
Is it the same color eyeball as the innkeeper?
You can't remember his name. There's no way you remember the color of his eyes.
Hold on. I need to start. We need divine intervention with this.
We need something. That's for sure.
And I start channeling divine detect magic. Start the ritual to
Sure. How long is that going to take?
10 minutes.
All right. What's everybody else doing for 10 minutes while he's?
I'm
preparing?
playing the loot.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna roll for performance again. It's a different time. I could fucking nail it this time.
I believe in you. Whoa. Worse even than.
all right,
okay,
it's canon now. You suck at the loot. It's
You
now
suck
canon.
so bad. I'm actually gonna have to ask Dan. Can you make a concentration check? for
That's
me,
a 0. Oh, you might be interrupting the spell.
Please? I need a concentration check from you. DC.
Oh,
okay.
God.
He interrupts the ritual. Like he's so bad, you can't concentrate on the spell, and it's
Oh,
ruined,
God.
and you have to start over.
I don't know. I haven't played in so long.
You should practice when we're not around. I felt bad for you upstairs, but you actually are fucking awful. Please.
I'm usually really good.
I find that hard to believe. You should try the meat. It's tasty.
I'm gonna put it away.
Okay. Did we bring anything back from the mansion? Did you steal? I look after I say that. I look directly. Did you bring something back from the mansion that we don't know about? Looking at Ziva.
No. So kind of like indignant.
Well, I mean, some things just find ways into your pocket. I understand how it is. Not blaming you or saying anything.
I didn't bring anything back.
Bert, did you take anything? I know you brought that curse, but it's gone, right?
No, not that I can remember.
Well, let's go next door while he's finished casting this. It's gonna take a little bit, I think. I want to go next door toward the innkeeper's place through the kitchen.
Okay, yeah. So you got 10 minutes while Ramus begins the ritual once again.
Yeah, I want to read the papers on the desk.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's no writing on them, but there's lots of sort of amateurish drawings.
Can I try to understand what the drawings are? Or can I
Yeah, I mean,
understand
you
what the
can
drawings
look.
are?
You can, yeah, you can look at them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
the same. It's the same thing that I described to Jiva. It's starting. If the ones on the bottom are the start, there's kind of drawings of the house. There's drawings of birds, close-ups of like wings and feet and beaks and eyes. And then the further to the top you get, the more recent, the more kind of sketchy and scattered and ink-stained it becomes until the top is just like smears of ink.
Is there any food in here that has been here for a couple days that would potentially not have come from the same place that the food in the inn came from? That would necessarily, well, not necessarily. It might came from the same place, but it might not be in the same batch. Is what I'm getting at.
I mean, not that you can tell just by looking at it, but there's no other food in here. Like he would have kept the food in the inn and then brought it in here to cook.
Okay.
There's just the cook pot, which is still kind of like got a little bit of smoke drifting out of it.
I pick it up. Is there anything in it? I like slosh it around.
There's a thick crust at the bottom of something that has like burned onto the bottom of the pot, like it's been left for hours over a fire, and all the fluid. It looks like someone was making like soup or stew or something, but all the fluid is boiled off, and everything else is just burned to the bottom.
Okay, I'll pick up a knife and try to scrape the bottom out to see if it's blood or something.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like kind of scrape at the bottom of it. There's a layer of softer material on top that didn't burn quite so bad, and you scrape the bottom, and yeah, it's hard to tell what it is. Like it does smell like food. Like there's you know like you know your body, you can tell like a food smell,
Right.
But you can't tell what it is. Just, like, burnt and black.
Does he keep anything around the house on like shelves that are books? Does he keep any books in the house? Like that I can see?
There's like a ledger sitting probably like on an end table or something, but no like novels or anything like that.
Okay, I'll look over. I'm not interested in novels. We know that. I go over and look at the ledger.
Yeah, you can't even read them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you open it and it's just got like lists of dates and amounts of money in and out.
Okay, I want to look at the most recent entry.
It's just a combination of you paying for your rooms and him buying groceries.
Okay, I'll go back like a day or two and just look for any big amounts that potentially look like something outside of an inn.
Make an investigation check.
Oops, sorry. 7. Great.
All you can tell is that his business has been getting worse and worse over the last few months.
Okay. He had told me that though, right? I think he had mentioned that to me.
Less and less in, more and more out.
Okay. I'll take his ledger. I'll put it in my bag.
Okay.
Yeah, are you
okay?
Berg or
Jiva or Berg? Yeah. If you have anything you want to do, let me know.
I'm eating a falafel and going through his Foot Locker.
Okay. Yeah. He's just got mostly like clothes and stuff. Though at the bottom of the locker, there's a long thin piece of white fabric with gold thread etched into it. It looks like there's a prayer. There's a prayer of like a binding, basically. You're not super familiar, I don't think, with like human custom, but it's written in it's etched in common and is just like a simple like prayer for prosperity and binding. And at the end of it, the little prayer fabric has been tied around a gold ring, just a simple kind of slightly dinged gold ring.
Okay. So I put everything else back in the Foot Locker, and I take that piece of fabric with me, and I show it to Enoch. And I say, I'm unfamiliar with your human customs, but this seems to be something of importance. Does it mean anything to you?
And what is it you're holding in front of me? Fabric?
piece of white fabric, long, thin piece of fabric that's obviously been tied, like it's wrinkled, and then there's a ring kind of like hastily tied through the end of it.
I grab it and unroll it and try to see what it is.
Yeah, make a religion check.
Fucking 9.
Okay. Your parents had one of these, and it has something to do with like like marriage or something, marriage ritual. You don't know anything else other than that.
Well, yeah, I've seen this before, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I guess we could show it to Ramus. He might know some more about it. I think it has to do with religion or something like that. I don't know. It's worth looking through, though. Say, do you have any rations on you, Ziva, by chance?
Do I have any more falafels? I ate one just now. I don't know how many.
I don't know. Do you wanna give this guy
Well,
one of your
are you-
precious falafel?
Are you eating falafels right in front of us?
Yeah, I was eating a falafel while I was going through his stuff.
Oh, okay. What? I maybe like as I see you eat another one or something like that. I interrupt. Is that falafel good? There's nothing hidden inside of it. I'm not hungry. I'm just asking that maybe something is causing something to happen in this food. And here, I don't know
Yeah.
how magic works.
And like my mouth is kind of full, and I'm just like, no, delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I brought these. I like swallow, and I brought these with me from
Okay.
before we came here.
Okay, well, we know whatever's happened to the food, then it was prepared that way. It's not magical happening to any food in this area or to us, so that's good.
Glad your falafel's good.
Berg's being weird. If he wants falafels, if you can spare, he does that.
I didn't say that.
And I like reach in my bag and I pull out another like falafel that's carefully wrapped, and I hand it to Berg. There's nothing in it.
Berg, you should just tear a little bit off. I'll try it for you if you don't want to.
You want to try it?
I'm just saying there might be an eyeball in it, but I'm willing to try it if you want me to test it before you eat it.
No, it's Berg's.
I turn around.
He's just
I turn around, just damn it. And I'll continue just like snooping around the house, opening any cupboards to see if there's anything, stuff like that.
Okay. So Ramus, you finish your ritual, and you are able to perceive magic around you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the schools of magic and any items that are enchanted with magic. Basically.
Sure. There is only the faint sense of necromantic magic in this place, like old and running out. Like it's fading quickly. No particular spell or whatever, but definitely necromancy of some kind
Okay.
has been used in this place.
Okay. So I'm walking. I just do a scan of the whole place up and down, just passing the light which reflects off magic, just make sure it's.
Yeah, and then the
apartment.
usual stuff, right? Like Berg's weapon and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, it's not. Nothing seems to be magical here. Like like a faint sense of necromancy, but I don't think that's what's going on.
I think it's like a close-up shot of you saying this, and then it does like a jump back, and it shows that you're by yourself in your room, or in the room because we're over in the inn.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking to you. I don't give a shit about you guys.
I love that. Yeah, yeah, totally. The close up of like, the slow pan, and there's no one else in the room.
There's no one else.
Your pipe in your mouth. I like that. It's perfect.
This place is clean. I go over to them and be like, nope, nothing magical. Something just weird is going on. It's not of magical nature.
Okay. Hey, we found this, and I throw you the piece of white fabric that we unrolled. My parents had something like that. I don't know too much about it, though. Figured maybe you'll be able to discern something a little bit more.
You got 10. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a part of a wedding ritual. It's used metaphorically to bind people together when they're wed. And yeah, and they would use this to symbolize their bond. It's an artifact of the priesthood of the lovers. There should be another ring on the other end. You can see where it was tied, but it's missing. Actually, the end of the fabric is frayed.
This is. Do you do weddings or marriage with halfling culture? Like, do you guys get married?
Yeah, Jiva, do halflings believe in marriage?
No, we don't have marriage.
Well, humans like to bond with each other and symbolize it with the ritual, where they say they're going to be with that person for the rest of their life. You know, love. And it's just a custom that they do.
Oh, we have that, only without the love, and it's called slavery.
Well, there's not much
Ziva,
difference,
that got
really.
real dark. We're trying to be supportive of one.
He asked me if I knew what it was. We don't have that in our culture.
I swear, you guys are the most negative people I've ever seen. I'm
It
just
works fine. I mean, I'm here because my parents got together, but they didn't have a ceremony.
Listen,
Anyway,
when two comrades struggle together very hard against their bonds, sometimes a baby is born. Yeah, so I mean, this is just like a weird thing that humans do.
Yeah, it's you know, like your parents, they're just a way of them saying that we're going to only be with each other for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it's quite
basically all
nice.
it
The
is.
ceremonies there's always a great food. People say nice things. There's usually some dancing. People get drunk. It's nice.
These humans, Jiva, these humans obviously have no idea how many sexy halflings there are in the world. Because if you only had to pick one, like, what's the point?
I mean, we drink and dance every day, but that sounds nice, I suppose.
Well, grow up already, okay? Jesus.
Is that another joke about my size?
No, you take. Ziva, I've had it up to here, and I kind of like make her height.
I have added up to right down here with you.
And then I look at. Okay, that was a little offensive. I didn't mean it that way, Z. I'm just poking. We got to find the innkeeper, okay? We got to focus on the innkeeper.
I am ashamed that I'm with someone so offensive to other people's feelings. That's repulsive to me.
Ramus, shut up. Just stop.
And now you're insulting.
My
I feel like this is the conversation that like slowly the scene fades out and the audio fades down as you're just like bickering with each other, and then we go to like a Hot Pockets commercial.
Well, let's take a break because we're due for one. And we'll figure out what the fuck we're gonna do. Because yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. So we'll think about that on the break, and then we'll come back and do what we're gonna do right after this.
Get some food. I'm
Yeah.
sure you're hungry.
Yeah, everyone go eat if you're nice and hungry after that hour.
Enjoy your retina cheese and your rat bread.
Need me a fetus egg.
Yep, it's the best type of eggs. We'll be right back. More Court of Swords after this. We'll see you then.